Hey everybody, I'm Misty Rooks from the Make Me Better podcast, and we have a new segment for you today called By Design, where we mix health and faith. There is a spiritual side to life and a natural side, and we need to balance those. And so on this show, we're going to talk about how those two ideas mesh and what we can do to support our bodies to restore its function back to God's design. So help me welcome my co-host, Dr. Chad McDill.
Hey, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. So Dr. Chad was on here in season 1, telling his personal story. And now he's back, and he's not a special guest anymore. He's a co-host because this show wouldn't be happening without him. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Okay, so the title of today's show is Help for Health Anxiety. And I just want to touch on that definition to begin with. There is an actual clinical definition for health anxiety, and you may have heard of being a hypochondriac before. People may have used that term.
Oh, yeah.
That goes with it. And then, there was another term, but illness anxiety. Illness anxiety. But what I want to say about that is that true diagnosis only affects about 0.1% of the population, according to the Cleveland Clinic online. So, so in our discussion today, we are probably not talking about that 0.1%. We're talking about people like me who have
like all of us
worries,
at some point.
Worries, and yes, and not so much that we cannot function in everyday life, but it is an issue that we deal with that we don't want to deal with. We want to find ways to get better and have to deal with it less. So that's why Dr. Chad is going to help us today as we're talking about this. So just a little disclaimer, talk to your doctor.
Absolutely. And hopefully the more and more we talk about this, that things are by design, you'll become the doctor more and more. That is, designed inside of you. And we'll just kind of open that up as we go along, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just get us started. I struggle with this health anxiety. I tend to overthink and jump to conclusions and think the worst if I have a physical symptom, if somebody in my family does. And so we'll just start with a bang. The latest was I had a colonoscopy a few weeks ago.
That was definitely not fun, but go ahead. Yeah.
For the first time ever, I'm only 43, but I had it done because, as you know, like if you've heard my story, I had a lot of surgeries. I ended up with a staph infection. It was MRSA on a ton of antibiotics. So thought it would be cool to do a stool analysis and see what, like good gut bacteria I'm missing so I could target that, right? So I'm doing it for this reason, but then I get the results back the day after Christmas that there was blood present. So immediately I freak out, and I don't want to be insensitive to anyone who does have cancer or a bad diagnosis, but I was like, well, I guess that was my last Christmas. I'm gonna have to have a colonoscopy, and they're gonna find cancer, and that's just gonna be, what am I gonna say to my kids? I need to make a video, for when I die. I don't want them to have a stepmom. I mean, it was just all of that like in an instant.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like freight train. Yeah.
So bad. So I had it done a couple weeks ago, and everything was clear.
Yeah.
Everything was good. Most of the time when you find blood in your stool, it is benign. And the doctor said even just like taking ibuprofen or something can cause that.
Absolutely. But what a great way to open this, because that's the reality of where, and now I think that there has been the tendency in the past, but yet I think with Dr. Google and all the things that are out there that tend to sensationalize things. So we're going to have to touch back and forth on this. I think the way for me, if we're going to talk about just lowering it from a general standpoint, is our mindsets of what are we really on a day-to-day basis telling ourselves and believing? And is it that we are living by design? Do we believe that our bodies were created in an image that was meant for perfection? And then if so, what's causing us not to experience that? Because we can both all say, like, if we tend to want to go down the rabbit
Yeah.
hole, something's telling us that we should. Like, there's a flaw,
Yes.
there's a social outside of us mindset that has been educated into us. To have less faith in us and
Mhm.
more faith in something outside of us.
Right.
And so we are constantly looking for those imperfections to be the last straw, so to
Yeah.
speak.
And so, like, how did I even know that, blood in your stool was bad? I don't know, but it's like you hear it,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so bad. So I don't know how you know, but you just know it.
Mhm.
And so I'm here to tell you it isn't. It's like between 60 and 80% of the time,
Yeah,
not nothing.
absolutely. So I think from another mindset standpoint, just setting people up to be able to go, okay, wait, I can just breathe. Like, uh, from an overall perspective, I was looking into this, and it's 80 to 90% of all disease, like your upper respiratory infections, your blood in stool, your rashes, your all the things that we experience that are pretty common, the headaches, the blood pressure changes, all these things, they're self-limiting. 80 to 90% of the problems that we will experience in our lives, they're self-limiting. And
Okay, so explain that
that
to
means that
somebody.
80 to 90% of the time, if you do nothing, it will resolve itself.
Okay.
By design, 80 to 90%. And so it helps me think back to all the times where I think, well, how many times has my body really let me down?
Right.
How many? I mean,
Right.
how many times have I
There you go.
I just haven't experienced it where it wasn't my own doing.
Okay, right.
It wasn't the car accidents or the,
Yes.
the crazy things, the "Hey, y'all watch this" moments or things like that, right? Right?
Yeah. So I wanna talk about that too because I think once you have been through some kind of trauma, it's really, really easy to just go there again.
Mhm.
Like, this thing, like we had a near death experience, something bad happened, you had like a rare reaction to something. You've been there,
Mhm.
you've had a bad injury lifting,
Sure.
and then you had a car accident that just crushed you.
Correct.
So how do you overcome then when, down the road you've recovered from that, but mindset, how do you just go about your life now knowing in the back of your mind, okay, I went through this, I did go through this thing that was the worst.
Mhm.
Um, oh my gosh, it's going to happen again.
Well, I think it brings us to, thinking about the things that what's our plan? Like, how are we actually living? Because I was on the looking things up in preparation and looked at the World Health Organization estimates that 74% of global deaths, all the deaths on the planet, are related to chronic disease, and
Mm,
those are diet and lifestyle related.
mm,
74%. And in the
mhm.
United States, it's 95%.
Oh, wow.
95%.
We're above
Oh,
average.
yeah, in the wrong way, right? And so what's been your plan that got you to where you are and has created the anxiety? What have you not been addressing? And then what's your
Hmm.
plan to get out of it? And I think that, literally, when we know that we have 95% of the control. I mean, because if diet and lifestyle is 95% of the
Yeah.
cause, then we own, again, our bodies
Yes.
own 95% of the solution.
Okay, and I'll tell you what it is. It's because we don't have a plan.
Yes.
It's
Most people don't
because
have
we
a
don't have a
plan.
plan until something happens that forces us to.
Absolutely. I think it
That's
was
it.
Mike Tyson who said everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. Well, I think that I think the Super Bowl commercial from him talking about processed food, right? I mean, he was on there. It was a Super Bowl commercial, and he talked about how after going through all his training, he went through this period of time where he gained well over 300 pounds. And it was
Wow.
because of all the processed food he was eating, and that's linked to obesity. And so he was on the Super Bowl. And I just thought about, well, I mean, if he's speaking out about this and we're talking about it, we know that we now have 95% of the solution, but a real plan that's in alignment with the principles of the way God designed us, people don't have.
True.
What we have is sensational journalism or something trying to sell us biohacks on social media.
Yes, absolutely. And that's something else I wanted to talk about because I deal with this. I deal with the health anxiety and I promise you when Jason goes back to watch this, he'll confirm this is true. Once a week I'm like, "Look at my eyes. Do they look yellow? They look yellow to me. Oh my god, my liver." Oh,
Yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
just because well, I took Accutane when I was 20,
Yeah.
21, and I'm like, it's killing my liver. And so you don't need to say those kind of things out loud about
No.
yourself and listen to yourself say those things. But the point I was getting to was, okay, now that I've been awakened, I see, health care is really sick
Mhm.
care.
Mhm.
So I'm aware of all of this stuff now, right?
Mhm.
And everywhere you turn, it is like another article, another commercial, another something, some bit of information just all the time. Like, you should do this. You need to do this cleanse. If you're not doing like nicotine patches now, people are doing this to
Mhm.
treat things. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds legit. Is probably right. And you know what? Most of the time, I just go every Wednesday to the chiropractor and I ask Dr. Chad, I'm like, what do you think about this? What do you think about a vibration plate? What do you think about this, that? And he'll tell me his honest opinion. Well, and not just opinion, like what he knows about it
Sure.
factually. And he'll even look stuff up. So you need a good chiropractor in your life. You need a good office to go to.
I think that
Um,
that's the beginning of the plan. Who's the anchor to the principles? Who's your anchor? I mean, we have anchors in the church. We have anchors in financials, hopefully. You have anchors in your social calendar. You have things that are anchoring you in life and keeping you in the direction that you know you want to plan your life. But who's anchoring you in the principle of health that is talking to you about blood work, about your exercise, about your nutrition, about your toxicity, and about your mindset and how you're making decisions
mhm,
on a regular basis.
mhm.
I think that's really, more about what I do than anything. And then when you add in that neurological part from chiropractic, now you've well-rounded everything. And I think that if we're
Yeah.
going to talk about how to get rid of it, the anxiety, then one of the good news, do you know that every 120 days, your blood's brand new? So whatever
That
was
blows my mind.
feeding your disease, yeah. So whatever was feeding your disease can be fixed in 120 days, and you can be starving the disease.
In 20 days.
In cancer, diabetes, heart disease,
Yeah.
you can totally change. You have all brand new red blood cells in 120 days. And so you can completely change everything. And that's why you can check your A1C so often. Things like that. We have these metrics that we know. But again, is that the conversation after you get your A1C and your blood work, or is the phone call, hey, everything checks out okay? We'll see you in 6 months. And is that the phone call you get from your nurse or the nurse
Yeah.
practitioner, right? I mean, how many of us experienced that?
Uh-huh.
Or is there a
Yeah.
plan? You know, I think that, again, it's all great news. It just requires a plan.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the plan for someone who jumps to worst case scenario? Your kid has a cough and now you're worried that they have pneumonia, that it's going to be the worst of the worst
Hmm.
cases. They're going to have to be hospitalized. Most of the time, that's not
Are they
it.
going on a ventilator?
Yeah.
We know that the 5% come out from, during
Yeah.
COVID, right? So
Yeah.
we worst case scenario, the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and as a mom, I feel like
Mm,
it's worse for mothers, and y'all let me know, give me some
yeah.
feedback on this because I feel like as a mom, here's what I think about it. I am the one who is responsible. So if I miss a cue,
Mm,
it's my fault. And then my kid is ruined. It's something has happened and it's too hard to reverse and all that. So as moms, I think we deal with that. Like we are, I feel like, made and we're born with that
mhm.
in us
Absolutely, that instinct
as
is amazing.
yes, as the mother, like, we're gonna notice things that other people don't notice, and we are gonna pick up on stuff, but I think it gets out of whack, and so a good thing that was designed in us
Mhm.
turns into a bad thing when it just goes into overdrive.
Absolutely. And I think that, again, we're being told to go outside of ourselves. So I think one of the biggest questions, and I'll admit that my wife, being the mother of my kids, she's been a great grounding factor in this, is that most of the time we ask, well, what's wrong? And then it's followed by, what do they need?
Okay.
Not what's wrong and what have I done or what have they done lately that could have caused this? And what do I need to get rid of? Like, case in point, we will have my daughter, Eliana. She's a sugar bomb. She can just, and the pirate, she's like sneaky with it and all this stuff. And she will just rifle a bunch of sugar. And then she gets sick. She has a fever. And
Mm,
then sometimes she'll throw up. But then, like, she'll come home from her grandparents regularly. And she just walks in the front door and she says, "Hey, I'm tired. I don't feel good." She goes to bed and Megan's like, "Well, we'll see her in 24 hours." And she will sleep for a whole day. And when she gets up, 9 times out of 10, she's fine.
she's
She just
good.
had to burn it off. It
Yeah.
was like she had too much sugar. So,
Uh-huh.
what did we give them? What's in there that could have stirred this hornet's nest of symptoms? It's 90% of the time self limiting.
Mhm.
And the old water and rest and,
Yeah.
what kinda what do we need to get rid of? What toxin? Instead of what do I need to give them? Is it Advil? Is it allergy medicine? Is it,
Yeah.
do I need to take them to the doctor? They need antibiotics.
Right.
If I don't go for antibiotics, but
Mhm.
90% of the time, it's self-limiting.
Okay. Go back and say those questions again that you go through. If your kid is sick or something, what
Well,
have
yeah, what's gone on recently? Like, or
okay.
what are the symptoms? Like, okay, instead of what do I need to give them, it's, well, what could they have done that caused this? And then what do I need to remove
Right.
from it? It's like,
Okay.
are they dehydrated? These are things that their body needs, and you just look for they went overboard on something, overboard on
Okay.
screen time, and overboard
Mhm.
on right.
Yeah,
There's one.
big one.
Yeah, I mean,
Ask any school teacher.
yeah, for real. Behavior problems. How much screen time have my kids had?
Uh-huh.
And ours will be really, kind of nasty with each other,
Yes.
when they're not getting
Mhm.
their quick dopamine fix from the
Yeah.
from the screen.
Yes.
But
Oh, yeah, we have to detox from screens regularly,
absolutely.
like, even just a TV screen because they
Mhm.
don't usually get, any kind of tablet or anything except for, like, a couple hours on the weekend, but it doesn't matter. The TV does the same thing.
Absolutely. And I think that, we start looking for biohacks and for whether it's supplements or whether it's the newest anything, the salve, whether it's a vibration plate, whether it's all these things instead of, um, it was fun. I was watching another podcast and the lady was saying, Dr. Renee, can't remember her name, but she was talking about if I could bottle what this type of exercise does, then it would be the biggest prescription to ever hit the market. It would be the quadrillion dollar prescription, not the multi-billion dollar, but the multi-trillion dollar prescription because of how much impact it has on your cardiovascular health, diabetes, and obesity. And it was just fun. And so I watched the podcast, a little 12-minute thing, and it was great. And we just I pulling up a if I could find her name. All right. And it was just a great segment. And I just think that we need to think back into those, what can I do? Have I exercised lately? Have I sweated lately? Have I
Yeah.
drank enough water? How's my nutrition?
Yes.
How's my mindset? Or am I overstim?
Yes. So I will say for me, what I noticed with myself over the last few years was, first of all, I mean, I think I just went my case. I had the implants, had them removed. I think that just sent everything overboard, just
Mm.
over the edge with the toxins in my body and stuff. So my nervous system was just like, "Rah." And it's still healing from that. But I did notice, because I started to clean up my nutrition
Mhm.
when I started coming to your office, I still, I've gone back and forth and there's a lot of work I need to do, but there are some non-negotiables. Like once you learn some things, you just don't unlearn them and you don't go back and do them again.
So true.
But I started to notice, things went around my cycle the week before. I had more anxiety.
Mm.
Also, the more sugar I ate, the
Mhm.
more anxious I was. And that's a huge trigger for me that when I'm eating sugar, I have less control, I feel like, about where my mind goes with the anxiety thing. And so when I am moving and sweating and eating less sugar or none, if I can, then I feel like I have more control over where my thoughts go and how I can, and here's the thing too, a lot of people are going to tell you that it's only spiritual. Like, oh, you just need to pray through that. You just need to cast that thought down. You just need to,
Put it
and it's
behind me.
biblical things and religious things. And it's like, well, Jesus fed people, the 5,000, with real food. He didn't say, okay, now pray that your bellies will be full. Like
Yeah, there.
so he's like what, the most spiritual of all, but also he took care of that natural side of people too. They were there for days and they were hungry and he fed them real food for their real bodies.
Absolutely.
And so I don't listen to people who just say, well, you've just got to pray through it. You might need to, but you
Absolutely. If that's what's out
also,
of alignment, then
yes, you have to balance both. Okay, I just want to interject right here and let you know when I listened to this on the playback, I thought, mm, this could be taken the wrong way. So I'm asking you, please don't take it the wrong way. So when I said that I don't listen to anyone who only says you need to pray this away, that's what I mean. If people are saying that every physical ailment you have is only a spiritual problem, then I do have a problem with that because there is a spiritual side to life and a physical, natural side to life. So if God gave you a miracle today in your body, are you prepared to sustain that miracle? That's all I'm saying. We do need to pray. I believe in divine healing, but I don't believe that um, if we pray and get a miracle and get our answer, that there are not other physical things that we need to take care of in our bodies. Sometimes we're asking God for a miracle when actually we need to do some work. If God healed you from being a diabetic today, but then you wake up tomorrow morning and eat a box of Debbie cakes for breakfast, then you are not stewarding that gift that you got from him very well. And then you're going to need a miracle again. So that's all I'm saying is that when people make it about only something spiritual and they will not acknowledge that you need to do some things physically to take care of your body, and this also doesn't mean that I think that if you have not taken care of your body well, that you don't deserve a miracle. And I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying sometimes we're asking God to fix things. And actually, sometimes those things are in our control, just like Dr. Chad says in this episode. We've got 95% of the control with our diet and exercise. Most of us are not doing very well at that according to the facts. So that's all I'm saying is there are some things in our body that we can control. Do pray about it. Do ask God for help because some of us can't do it without his help. And yes, so thank you so much for understanding and not taking that the wrong way. We'll get back to the show now.
Yeah.
So, talk about some of the actual physical things that you can do. Like for me, I know less sugar, getting some sleep, getting some exercise, and staying off of Facebook or things like that where I'm just consuming negative things and scary things.
Okay. I think that you just did. I think that that was great. And I think that number one, it's the realization of like red food dye. You give it to some kids and they're off the charts, right? You saw it in the classroom.
Mhm, mhm.
We see it at the office. Sugar, neurotoxins, MSG, things like that. Just knowing your body, paying attention to your body, and then having a plan. When these things come about, what for me, it's salt's a trigger. If I have
Okay.
too much salt, then my blood pressure will elevate a little bit, and I can be more prone to be more erratic with my thoughts. And so that's one of the things I have to manage. And so, what are those things? And stopping, pausing. What have I done recently? It's not my body's gonna go out of control, and then ideally, again, it goes right back to the plan. What am I doing in the 5 essentials of health? What's my mindset changes? Am I praying enough? Am I meditating enough? Are my decisions in alignment with the way the body really works? How's my nervous system? Spine and nervous system. How's my exercise lately? Am I
Mhm,
sweating enough or am I toxic maybe?
mhm.
Have I been getting enough oxygen? Have I been breathing properly? I mean, uh, you know,
Wait, there's a wrong way to breathe?
yeah. Yeah, when you're anxious, right? You know what you're
Right,
doing, like,
right.
"Oh my gosh." And so, yeah, that's not the right way to breathe. And so and then, how is my toxicity levels? And then when you look into all 5 of those things, you're going to find your answer. And I love the quote from BJ Palmer who said, "Nature needs no help, just no interference." And we see that
Okay.
in the world, we see it in our bodies, we see it with the environment, we see
Yeah,
it with our kids, and it's just amazing and so when things are going wrong, that's one of the things that quote goes through my head. I just need to figure out what's
okay.
interfering when my body's designed. It's how I was created.
Mhm.
What have I done to myself? And then
Yes.
get back into one of those 5 essentials is going to fix it. Yeah.
Wow, yes, so it's like, math.
Yeah.
We might need to add something, we might need to subtract
Oh,
something.
yeah. I think that and more often in this world, recently, it's what do we need to get rid of? What am I doing? You know?
Yes, so we need to remove some things
Absolutely.
sometimes.
Sometimes, and I think that, or identify what we removed that was a positive. The natural tendency of the plan, our health plan, is number one, not to have one. Number two is that when we do get in a stressful situation that increases natural anxiety, that then if it's a health anxiety thing that's going on, what's the first thing that we get rid of when we're stressed? Like, let's say it's the holidays. You got a lot going on.
Okay.
You're anxious. You got family coming
Yeah,
over,
lots to do.
lots to do. And then you need more time to try to get that stuff done. What's the first thing that most people get rid of?
Oh, I don't know, sleep or
Yes.
exercise? Okay,
Sleep, exercise,
yeah, the good things that you
going to the
need. Yeah,
chiropractor, all the good stuff.
yeah.
I don't have time
Supplements.
to exercise.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I didn't take those days. I'm not taking that time. I'm headed
yeah,
out the door. I got
yeah.
to do this. Oh, I'm going to start eating fast food.
Uh-huh,
I don't have time to cook.
yes.
And
Oh, and then we all get sick.
and we all get sick. It's
Yeah,
it's not the cold and flu season. Between
yeah.
October and Super Bowl, we just
Yeah,
binge on sugar,
Valentine's. Yeah,
all the way to Valentine's Day.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We have this period of time that we call the cold and flu season, but
Mhm.
really it's the high stress and sugar time, and the low exercise and sleep time
Darkness.
and darkness. And so more people get sick. Our immune
Yes,
systems are crashed.
absolutely.
I think, and you put it all together, and what do you get? Again, a guy named Reggie Gold used to say, when it was around, he was a mentor of mine in chiropractic school, and he'd say, well, y'all are all stressed out over your finals and stuff like that. Well, maybe y'all stop going out boozing on the weekend and stay home and get some rest. You'll do better on those tests. And I just thought that was so funny. He had an English accent, so it sounded way better than me doing it. But so thank you, Reggie. He was amazing. But I think that really we have control if
We
we
do.
have a plan.
Yeah.
And so start by your health anxiety. What's your plan? If you don't have one, make one. What am I going to do today? And then I would throw out there the Atomic Habits, James Clear's book.
Okay.
Let's say you want to fix things, you want to have a better plan, you want to know how to implement it. That's the greatest book for implementation on small habit changes to get big results over time.
Okay.
Great book. And then as far as like the most well-rounded plan book for reducing health anxiety would be The Five Essentials of Real Health. It's a book by the Robertos, and it's a great book. We have it. We keep both those books in the office for those folks who are local. If not, go to maxliving.com and you can get a copy there or on Amazon. So
Yeah.
both those.
So just real quickly, just tell everybody what the five essentials are, and then sort of any other tips you have that could increase your good gut bacteria, because we know there's a gut brain
Oh,
connection
absolutely.
and all that.
Okay. Number one is your mindset. And then the connection between the mind and the body is the nervous system. And that's why chiropractic is about the spine, because it contains the nervous system. And so restoring the spine to its normal. And so find a Max Living, go to maxliving.com, chiropractor near me, and go to your, your nearest local office. Then they will help you with all the other essentials. That's how we deliver real health care, in that it is next would be, well, what's the nutrition? What are you,
Hmm.
the building blocks that you're building your body with? What are those? Are they fake or are they real?
Yeah.
And then fixing that gut brain axis
Hmm.
is eating more real food,
Yes.
fermented foods, the probiotics, the natural things, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, yogurt. Yogurt, kombucha's upper GI, your lower GI, or your fibrous things like the sauerkrauts that have been unpasteurized, raw. So they need to be in the refrigerated section. We have it right here at Ingalls and Trenton and everything. And then we have stuff delivered to the office. Then it would be next is your oxygen and exercise. How are you going to get that
Okay.
nutrition delivered to the body? So that's the fourth essential. And we guide people on their type of exercise, but any's better than none. Like just
Just move
something,
your body.
just
Yeah.
move. And then the last one is toxicity, and reducing toxicity so that there's less chemical sludge and you have more chemical, emotional, and physical bandwidth. Like you're not toxic
Mm,
to be able to react to stress,
yes.
physical, chemical, and emotional stress. How much bandwidth do you have
Right.
in all of those areas determines your level of
Yeah.
anxiety in the
Yeah.
body physically and in the mind mentally.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Because when you're to the point where you feel like I cannot handle one more disagreement, I cannot handle another like noise.
mhm.
I'm gonna lose it. Um,
I'm glad you feel that way too
I have
sometimes.
been there.
Yeah,
Um, and then maybe we all get there sometimes,
sure.
but yeah, definitely when you work on reducing those toxins and helping your nervous system, you can handle things like I can tell a difference in myself now. I got rid of a lot of stress
Yeah.
when I quit teaching, and I just had to let go of some things there for a while in my life. I had so much stress, but so much stress and pressure on my body and my nervous system that I didn't realize that I had. And so I did a major thing to alleviate that,
Yeah, boy.
and, so, I mean, it's still just taking some time, but I can tell a difference now, and I can be a little more chill, a little more lighthearted, dare I even say fun sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes. All right. Well, we can work on more and more and more and more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's the thing. I think that one of the ways, the fastest way to do something mentally, physically, chemically, oxygen, and just all of the things is walk out of your door more often and play with kids,
Yeah.
somebody, go outside, throw the football, breathe, run, laugh when you fall down if you're my age and you just arbitrarily trip in the hole in the yard trying to catch the football now. I'm like, what happened to me? Like I could have done that with doing twirls when I
Yeah.
was, 20, but so now, and you just, in doing those things, you're getting the sunlight that everybody's
Mhm.
talking about, your
Mhm.
circadian rhythm, you're breathing, you're laughing, you're connecting.
Mhm.
I think that in this world of busyness and overstimulation, that focus on connection and time, stillness, and just the enjoyment of things brings so much more dopamine and so much more serotonin and so much more of the chemical words, but just so much more happiness into our lives. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that we're missing. And
Mhm.
stopping to look around and enjoy the grand design.
There you go. I think that is a perfect way to end the show, unless
Awesome.
you have any other final
No,
thoughts
thanks,
that
great.
you want to leave everybody else with.
No, I just enjoy getting to talk about this. I look forward to this podcast and segments, anything that. And so, for those of you who have certain topics out there that you want us to touch base on, please leave comments, and be glad to look at it from this principled perspective.
Absolutely. We would love to, because the whole entire reason we did this topic was just for me, because this is something that I struggle with. And I know that I'm not the only one. And
No,
that is another thing too that we struggle with sometimes, is you feel like you are the only person dealing with this problem
nope,
in the entire world, and you're not. You're just not. And so we want to put this out there. I know that if it could help me, then it could help somebody else too. So,
absolutely.
yeah, we want to do the next one for you. So let us know what you think. And thank you for joining me for the Make Me Better podcast, and my co host, Dr. Chad McDill, for By Design.
Thanks.